As Arsenal's preparations for Liverpool progress, attention has naturally shifted towards squad availability, individual roles, and the tactical matchups that are likely to define this heavyweight Premier League encounter. With fitness updates becoming a central talking point both inside the club and among supporters, as Arteta and his medical staff work meticulously to ensure that the squad not only enters the match with maximum availability, but also with players operating at optimal physical condition. And within recent training sessions, there has been cautious optimism surrounding the involvement of key players who have been carefully managed in recent weeks, with workloads tailored to avoid unnecessary risk while still maintaining sharpness. And this balanced approach reflects Arsenal's broader strategy of sustainability, recognizing that matches of this intensity demand not just talent, but physical resilience and intelligent rotation, and in midfield, Declan Rice's importance cannot be overstated, as his role against Liverpool is expected to be pivotal both defensively and in controlling transitions, with training drills clearly designed to position him as the central stabilizer who can break up counterattacks, cover spaces vacated by advancing fullbacks, and still contribute to ball progression. And alongside him, Martin Odegaard's role as the creative heartbeat of the team has been refined further in training, with Arteta encouraging him to exploit pockets of space between Liverpool's midfield and defensive lines, knowing that Liverpool's pressing system can leave gaps if bypassed successfully, and Odegaard's movement, awareness, and pressing from the front will be crucial in setting the tone. While further forward, the attacking unit has been drilled extensively on timing and coordination, with a clear emphasis on exploiting the spaces behind Liverpool's high defensive line, particularly when their fullbacks advance aggressively, and Arsenal's wide players have been encouraged to vary their positioning, sometimes hugging the touchline to stretch play, and at other moments drifting inside to overload central areas, creating dilemmas for Liverpool's defenders who must decide whether to track runners or hold their shape. And this tactical nuance has been evident in training scenarios that simulate Liverpool's pressing traps, allowing Arsenal's attackers to rehearse quick combinations and third-man runs designed to break through pressure. And defensively, Arsenal are acutely aware of Liverpool's attacking strengths, particularly their speed in transition and their ability to punish even momentary lapses in concentration. And as such, training has placed heavy emphasis on defensive communication, recovery positioning, and disciplined pressing, with defenders repeatedly drilled on holding their line, tracking runners, and maintaining compact distances between units. And the center-back pairing has been working closely with the fullbacks to ensure that wide areas are protected without leaving central spaces exposed, a balance that will be vital against Liverpool's dynamic forwards who thrive on movement and unpredictability. And the role of Arsenal's goalkeeper has also been highlighted in training, with build-up play under pressure and quick distribution forming a key part of the tactical plan. Recognizing that Liverpool's press often aims to force rush decisions from the back, and Arsenal's insistence on playing through pressure rather than bypassing it represents both confidence and calculated risk, but one that Arteta believes is necessary to impose control over the game rather than reacting to Liverpool's intensity. And from Liverpool's perspective, Arsenal's coaching staff have conducted extensive analysis, breaking down patterns of play, pressing triggers, and defensive tendencies, ensuring that players are fully briefed on what to expect. And training sessions have included situational drills that mimic Liverpool's attacking sequences, particularly their tendency to overload wide areas before switching play quickly. And this preparation underscores Arsenal's respect for Liverpool's quality, while also reinforcing belief that with discipline and execution, they can limit their opponent's strengths. And psychologically, this phase of preparation has been just as important as the tactical work, with Arteta emphasizing emotional control and decision-making under pressure, reminding players that Liverpool often thrive on turning games chaotic, and that Arsenal's success will depend on maintaining structure and composure even when momentum swings. And within the squad, there is a growing sense of responsibility among senior players to guide the team through these moments, ensuring that younger players remain focused and confident, and the competitive nature of training has further sharpened selection battles, with players pushing themselves to stake a claim for a starting spot, raising overall standards and intensity. And this internal competition has been embraced by Arteta as a positive sign of a healthy squad mentality. And physically, Arsenal appear well prepared for the demands of the match, with conditioning work tailored to ensure players can sustain high-intensity pressing and repeated sprints over 90 minutes. Acknowledging that Liverpool matches are often defined by relentless tempo, and recovery protocols have been integrated seamlessly into the training schedule, reflecting a modern approach that values freshness as much as intensity. And beyond the tactical and physical aspects, there is also a growing awareness of the broader context of the fixture, with players understanding that performances against direct rivals can shape narratives, confidence, and belief within the squad. And this awareness has added a sense of seriousness to training, without tipping into anxiety, as Arsenal aim to approach the match with controlled aggression and belief in their preparation. And as the final tactical details are refined, the impression from London Colney is that Arsenal are not simply reacting to Liverpool, but preparing to impose their own identity on the game, trusting in the systems, relationships, and principles that have been developed over time. And this approach reflects a team that has matured under Arteta, capable of respecting opponents without being intimidated, and confident that their preparation, execution, and collective mindset can meet the challenge posed by one of the league's most formidable sides. As the countdown to kickoff continues, the significance of Arsenal's clash with Liverpool has grown beyond the immediate 90 minutes, evolving into a defining moment that carries implications for momentum, belief, and the broader narrative of the Premier League season. And within the club, there is a clear understanding that matches of this magnitude often resonate long after the final whistle, shaping confidence levels and setting psychological benchmarks for what lies ahead. And this awareness has filtered through every layer of preparation, from the intensity of training sessions to the messaging delivered by Mikel Arteta, who has consistently framed the fixture not as a moment of pressure, but as an opportunity to demonstrate growth, resilience, and ambition. And for the players, this perspective has fostered a sense of excitement rather than fear, reinforcing the idea that these are the games they have worked toward throughout their development. And among supporters, anticipation has reached a peak, with fans closely following every training update, analyzing footage, reading between the lines of press conferences, and debating possible lineups, reflecting the emotional investment that accompanies fixtures against Liverpool, a rival synonymous with high drama and defining moments. And the atmosphere expected at the stadium is anticipated to be intense and emotionally charged, with Arsenal supporters eager to create an environment that energizes the team and disrupts the opposition, recognizing the role crowd energy can play in shifting momentum during key phases of the match. And the players have been encouraged to embrace this atmosphere, channeling it into controlled aggression and focus rather than allowing it to become a source of distraction. And within the squad, there is a strong sense of unity, with players frequently emphasizing togetherness, collective responsibility, and belief in the process that has guided Arsenal's rise under Arteta. And this unity has been visible in training, where encouragement, communication, and accountability have been consistent themes. And in terms of the title race, the implications of the result are substantial, as matches between direct contenders often function as 6-point swings that can alter standings, confidence, and external perception. And Arsenal are acutely aware that strong performances against elite opposition send a message not only to rivals but also to themselves, reinforcing the belief that they can sustain a title challenge over the long term. And conversely, there is recognition that setbacks in such fixtures can test resilience, making the manner of performance just as important as the result. And Arteta has repeatedly emphasized this idea, stressing that identity, execution, and mentality must remain intact regardless of outcome. And tactically, the expectation is for a match defined by intensity, pressing, and moments of individual quality, with Arsenal aiming to balance control and aggression, imposing their structure while remaining alert to Liverpool's capacity to turn transitions into decisive moments. And this balance has been a recurring theme in preparation, with players drilled on managing momentum shifts, recognizing when to slow the game and when to accelerate. And this game management represents a key area of growth for Arsenal compared to earlier phases of their development. And beyond tactics, the emotional dimension of the contest looms large, with players prepared for phases of dominance and adversity alike. Understanding that composure in difficult moments often separates winning sides from those that fall short, and the leadership within the squad will be tested in these moments as senior players are expected to guide teammates, maintain organization, and reinforce belief. And from a broader perspective, this fixture also serves as a measuring stick for Arsenal's evolution under Arteta, offering insight into how far the team has progressed in terms of consistency, adaptability, and mental strength. And the preparation undertaken ahead of this match reflects a club that has embraced professionalism, detail, and long-term thinking, moving away from reactive approaches toward a clear and coherent identity. And as the final training session concludes and attention shifts fully to matchday execution, the sense around Arsenal is one of readiness grounded in preparation rather than hype, with players confident in the work done and aware that success will depend on translating training ground principles into disciplined, courageous performance under pressure. And regardless of the eventual result, the approach to this fixture illustrates Arsenal's ambition to compete at the highest level, demonstrating a willingness to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. And as fans prepare to witness another chapter in the storied rivalry between Arsenal and Liverpool, the anticipation is fueled by the belief that this match will offer drama, quality, and significance, reflecting the very essence of Premier League football. And for Arsenal, the hope is that their preparation, unity, and belief culminate in a performance that not only delivers a positive result but also reinforces their identity as a team capable of meeting elite opposition head-on, making this moment not just a test but an opportunity to affirm their place among the league's leading contenders. As matchday approaches and the final layers of preparation give way to execution, Arsenal's focus has increasingly turned toward the in-game realities they expect to face against Liverpool, with the coaching staff dedicating significant attention to scenario-based preparation that goes beyond tactics on a whiteboard and instead immerses players in the emotional and strategic demands of elite competition. And during the final training sessions, there has been a strong emphasis on responding to different game states, whether protecting a narrow lead, chasing a goal late on, or managing periods of sustained pressure, acknowledging that matches between top sides rarely unfold in predictable patterns, and Arteta has been keen to stress adaptability, reminding players that intelligence and decision-making in the heat of the moment are just as important as the initial game plan. And this approach has resonated throughout the squad, with players showing greater confidence in adjusting positioning, tempo, and risk levels during training games, reflecting a growing trust in one another's understanding of the system. And leadership has emerged as a key theme in this phase of preparation, with senior figures encouraged to take ownership not only of their individual roles, but also of the collective emotional state of the team, ensuring that standards remain high, regardless of external pressure, refereeing decisions, or momentum swings. And this leadership responsibility has been evident in training interactions, where experienced players have been proactive in organizing shape, calming teammates, and reinforcing focus after mistakes, signaling a maturity that has been cultivated deliberately under Arteta's guidance. And tactically, Arsenal are preparing for the likelihood that Liverpool will attempt to disrupt rhythm through aggressive pressing and physical duels, prompting Arsenal to rehearse calm, disciplined responses rather than reactive ones, with particular emphasis placed on drawing pressure before exploiting space behind Liverpool's first press, a strategy that requires bravery, precision, and trust in technical ability. And these principles have been embedded throughout the week, with Arteta repeatedly reinforcing the importance of staying true to identity even when faced with discomfort. And from a psychological standpoint, there has been a conscious effort to normalize pressure, framing it as a privilege rather than a burden, with players reminded that expectations are a sign of progress and ambition, not something to be feared. And this mindset has helped create a calm but competitive atmosphere around the squad, allowing focus to remain on performance rather than outcome alone. And beyond the immediate contest, the players are aware that how they perform in such high-profile fixtures contributes to the club's broader reputation and self-belief, influencing how opponents approach them in future matches. And this awareness has sharpened concentration levels, particularly in defensive drills, where lapses are punished swiftly, reinforcing the message that margins at this level are unforgiving. And the role of the bench has also been integrated into preparation, with substitutes briefed thoroughly on potential impact scenarios, ensuring that any player called upon understands the tactical adjustments required and the emotional intensity they must bring, recognizing that matches against Liverpool are often decided by contributions beyond the starting 11. And this inclusive approach has strengthened squad cohesion, reinforcing the idea that every individual has a role to play in the collective objective. And as anticipation builds externally, the club has maintained a controlled internal environment, limiting distractions and keeping communication clear and consistent, allowing players to approach the match with clarity rather than overload. And this calmness extends to expectations around the result, with Arteta careful to emphasize process over prediction, reinforcing that consistent execution of principles is the most reliable path to success. And regardless of the final scoreline, Arsenal are determined to deliver a performance that reflects their evolution, ambition, and resilience. And as the final moments before kickoff draw near, the sense around the squad is one of readiness grounded in preparation, unity, and belief, with players confident that the work done on the training ground has equipped them to meet the challenge head-on. And in facing Liverpool, Arsenal see not just an opponent, but an opportunity to further define who they are as a team, testing their identity under the brightest lights and against one of the league's most demanding standards. And it is this perspective that has shaped every aspect of preparation, transforming anticipation into focus and pressure into purpose, as Arsenal step toward another defining chapter in their ongoing journey at the top of English football.